Alright, so we made this filter, like for the filter icon we made this colored rectangle. Now we're just going to head back to our assets artboard, and we can see that there's the icon for the filters over here. We're just going to drag it back over here. Okay, so here we have it, the filters icon. Okay, you can just move it using your arrow keys, okay, or using your mouse. So right now I'm using the arrow keys to move it. Similarly, you can use your mouse to just drag it. All right, so these blue lines show that this is in the middle, okay, and center aligned. All right, so this work is done. Next step is how to add the image in these rectangles. Okay, you can see over here the image of Weekend and Ariana Grande. Okay, now to do that, just head back to this panel. Okay, and just drag this image back to the artboard over here. Okay, now what we did we just dragged an image to this artboard. What we're going to do is we'll make this image in the shape of the rectangle that was provided to us by the UX designer. Okay, to do that, we'll first click on the rectangle. Okay, now listen very carefully because this can become a bit tough. Okay, by pressing shift on your keyboard, click on the image. Okay, now you will get both the rectangle and the image selected at once. Okay, right click on the image, you will get this thing. Okay, and select mask with shape. Alright, what it did was it made the image in the form of this rectangle. Okay, what it basically did is this rectangle, it made the image in the form of this rectangle. Alright, so you can see that the image is not properly placed. Okay, now to make it place, just head back to the layer panel. Okay, we'll click on this circle inside inside the square. There we will have two layers, one of the rectangle and one of this image. Okay, we'll select the image. All right, this one, and then we can just drag it along and bring it over here. You can see over here that the image is a bit smaller and here it's large. So by pressing shift on our keyboard and simultaneously dragging it down, okay, we'll make it smaller. And then after resizing it, we can just drag it to the appropriate position so as to cover the entire rectangle. Alright, it's done. Similarly, as we did for the weekend, I will just drag the Ariana picture over here. Okay. Now for many things not necessarily for the image, like even for the rectangle, if you don't click, if you don't press the shift key and you drag it, you may get it in some variable size. Okay, like this. All right, I'm not pressing the shift key right now. Okay, so if you use it and there's some problem in your mouse, so basically you're making a graphic design using your hands on the mouse, so you can change the dimensions. Okay, to keep the constant ratio of the height and the width of the rectangle, you should always press the shift key and then resize it. Now I'm pressing the shift key and now I'm resizing. Okay, so it's coming in the same ratio. Okay, if I don't press the shift key, it may come in some other ratio. All right, so this is why we use the shift key. And the same thing that we did with the weekend thing, the weekend image, I am going to do the same with the Ariana Grande. I will click on this rectangle. Okay, by pressing the shift key, I will be selecting the image as well. Alright, I will right click and I will use mask with shape. Okay, now I got this mask group 6. I click on this little circle. Alright, selecting the image, I will just resize it. Okay, as we did with weekend, can resize it. Okay, it's done. Now you can see that over here the image is a bit darker. Alright, compared to those over here. Okay, the image is a bit darker. These are brighter than the one which is in the explore artboard. Okay, now to make these darker as well, what I'm going to do is I will select the entire mask group. Okay, and I will decrease the opacity. Alright, in the right panel, going to this appearance section, you can see that there's an option, there's a slide bar to change the opacity of the thing. I will decrease it to like 80%, alright, near to 80, and similarly for this group. Alright, so now they're a bit darker. This looks a bit cooler than the original image, alright, because it looks like some overlay has been put over it. Okay, like we're going to add text on the image, right? So it will look better like this. Okay, so the next thing is adding this text, which is concert and the weekend. Alright, to do this, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll just copy this text and paste it, bring it over here, and I will change it to concert. Just a second. Okay, the character spacing is like the same, the 100. Alright, I will just have to change the size and the weight of the font. To do this, I'll just copy the values from here. It is Open Sans, it's 13 and it's light, so I'll apply the same over here. Open Sans 13, and I will make it light. Alright, I got this thing. Cool. Similarly, for this the weekend, the title one. Okay, what I'm going to do is, as there's no character spacing between the letters of the text, just going to copy this one, the explore events layer, copy it and paste it, drag it down, and I will just change the name to I just have to change the size, it's 18 and make it 18, and make it over here. Just aligning it a bit to left. Alright, similarly I'm doing the same for Ariana. I'll just copy these two layers. Okay, now to select two layers at once, like I told you, select the first one, press shift on your keyboard, click on the next one. Okay, now you will be able to select them together. Okay, copy them, paste them. Okay, we'll see that there are two weekend and two concert over here in the layers panel, and just drag this over here. Okay, the blue and purple lines will basically help you in aligning the text. Alright, and change the name. Okay, so this one's done. The next part is to add this date. November 28th is the date of the concert. Alright, now to make this square, I'm just going to copy the square that I made in this filter panel. Okay, so I'll click on this rectangle. Okay, let it be. I will tell you how to make a new rectangle. Leave it. Okay, so go to this thing, the rectangle tool, or press R on your keyboard. Okay, press shift on your keyboard and drag the cursor to make a square. Okay, press the shift keyboard and drag it simultaneously to get the sides of the square, okay, in a perfect ratio, 1 to 1. All right, the fill is white. That's good. Now we have to just untick the border to get rid of it. All right, so I did that. And next step is to add a little curve, the corner radius. All right, so I will change the value from 0 to 5 for this case. All right, so it's done. You can even increase the value just to show it. I'm just making it 5 for now. All right, and you just have to add text like November 28. Okay, to do that I'm just going to copy these two text layers over here. I'll just drag them over here. Now I'm going to change the color from white to black. Okay, and I will change the text to November, and over here I will just change it to 28. Okay, now you can zoom in a bit, and I'm just going to change the size of the text as well, align it in the middle. Okay, I will come over here and I will check the size of it. This is 8 and for the date it is 12. Okay, so I'm doing the same over here, change it to 8. All right, and one more thing you see over here, there is a corrected spacing over here. All right, now I just want to get rid of it, so I will make this value 100. You remember like we did it last time. We'll change it to 0 and you see the change over here. Okay, the characters now came close. Similarly for this, I will get the value from here. It is 12 and it is bold. So I'll change this to 12. I will make this to bold. Now I got the date. This much is done.